Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess. And I owe Santa a lot of money. He's gonna break my knees if I don't pay him back. So I need to borrow like $5. Just let me know. Let me know. No pressure. He's gonna break my kneecaps, but no pressure. But do me a favor and hit that like button, or the tree sock will not grant you unfathomable levels of wisdom. And let's take a look at the Gerber Suspension NXT. So this was a gift from trusted friend of the channel, The Punisher 2, and I know he doesn't want the attention, so let's all take a second to thank him in the comments for making this happen. And so what had happened was I bought this this Rocktol multi-tool, and I found out it was a clone of the Suspension NXT. So I asked if you guys wanted to see the Flissa. Wasn't a ton of responses, but almost everybody said yes, so that brought us the Flissa, and we're comparing it 1-to-1-to-1 with the Gerber Suspension NXT. Now, it's got to be said, I don't like clones, I don't like having them on the channel, but I wound up here before I realized it was a clone of this. I don't know everything in multi-tools, and it's hard to find budget multi-tools that aren't a clone of something else. So hard. So multi-tools won't show up all that often, but let's get into the dirty on these guys. So, we took a look at the Rocktol first, and the Rocktol was all right. A little rough around the edges in some spots, but it was okay. It carried well, it cut well, it did all the things, so, not unhappy with it necessarily. And then we carried the Rocktol. And the Flissa, sorry. I'm a little brain dead right now. I just woke up, but I'm trying to take care of this so y'all can take a look at it with me. The Flissa, a little bit better than the Rocktol all the way around. And then, of course, we've got the Gerber Suspension NXT. So, how do these things stack up against each other? Well, let's take a look at the tools they all come with. And, of course, we have our Phillips head screwdriver, which is the same across the board on these. Let's pull this one out, nyar. And let's pull this one out, nyar. So, of course, we've got the same Phillips head all the way across the board. We've got, we've got a scraper right here. We've got scraper right here. And we have got scraper right here. We have got a lanyard hole, which, again, why is that taking up the slot of another stool? Good God, I am so brain dead right now. Words are hard. It's somehow your fault. And then, of course, here, there is no lanyard hole. So we are missing that function, which I don't care about. We got our file, we have got our file, and we have got our file. And on this side, we have got our scissors. We have got our scissors. They are the same from the Rocktol to the Flissa. And we have got scissors right here. And these scissors are different to the Rocktol and the Flissa. We have got bottle opener, can opener, yada yada. We are on bonus flathead right here. And then we've got the bottle opener, can opener, all that. Same deal here. We have got our flat bit driver right here. We have got bottle opener, can opener, all that goodness. And here we have got our flat bit, and we got like a little wire stripper and all that. And then, of course, we got our knife, partially serrated, all that is good there. We've got the knife here, partially serrated, all that is good there. And we got the knife here, partially serrated, all that is good there. So our locking mechanisms are the same from tool to tool to tool. You can see some slight differences. This thing does not have the lanyard hole. Some of the tools are in a different order, but I mean, we can call this a clone. We can call them clones for sure. And, so that's how these things are all equipped with the tools. That is your lot for things that do things that make things work. And I will say, one thing that was really worth noting, and the biggest difference between all these came with the Rocktol. And the Rocktol, right out of the box, the action on it was incredibly stiff. Incredibly stiff. I had to lubricate it. I had to get up under here with a pry bar and pry this out until it relaxed a little bit. Very, very stiff. And of course, they all have pocket clips on them. Sorry. I'm still not 100% over being sick. I am on antibiotics now, but God, this has been a long couple of weeks. So we've got our pocket clip, we've got our pocket clip, and we've got our pocket clip. Now, the pocket clip on the Suspension NXT is noticeably weaker than the Flissa and noticeably weaker than the Rocktol. So I'm going to ding it for that. And of course, the Rocktol and the Flissa come with a sheath, pouch, whatever you want to call it. This does not. The Gerber overall, and of course we've got our pliers that are spring and loaded. This one has removable wire cutters. This one does not. These are bypass cutters right here. These are anvil cutters. They don't bypass each other. They just squeeze down really hard. And we've got the anvil cutters right here that also squeeze down really hard. So major differences, there's the lanyard holes on these, tools are in a different order, and the pocket clips are a little bit different. So like you can tell, these are essentially the same thing, and of course the hole cutouts are different from tool to tool. These are pretty similar, they're nearly identical, but these are a bit different. So and the Flissa did really well. The Flissa did really well. Now, the Suspension NXT, the OG, everything on this is a bit smoother. Everything on it opens smoother, it closes smoother, the lock's a little bit smoother. Everything on here is just a touch better than these. Like, you can feel the ever so slight difference in quality. But out of all these three, I think at the end of the day, the Flissa's probably going to take it for my favorite one of these three. It's just, it functions better than the Rocktol does. The Rocktol's still fine. It's going to get you where you want to go. There's nothing overtly hugely wrong about it, but it doesn't feel quite as good to use as the Flissa does. The Flissa doesn't feel quite as good as the Suspension NXT. The differences are minor. Like if you're doing a 1 to 10 scale, like this is a 7, this is an 8, this is a 9. Very small differences. The one thing holding this thing back is the lack of any kind of a sheath. I had to carry this clipped on the belt and tucked in between the belt and the waistband, and it was a constant nuisance there. If you've got a lot of pocket space to dedicate to it, or you're wearing cargos, or you have space in a tool bag or something like that, I would go with this one. However, if you're like me and you got to carry it on your person, that changes the game quite a bit. I've got my knife in my pocket, my keys, I've got e-liquid, I've got, a mod, my other pocket's got the big mod. Like, there's stuff in my pocket, so I have to, find ways to carry these things that aren't in the pocket. That's where this comes in handy. And, I used to not care for the pouches that much, but they used to be a lot cheaper and a lot less nice feeling. Like, these feel quite nice, especially compared to what I used to get back in the day. So if I had to pick between these three, I'd definitely be carrying this one a lot more. This one is better, but no sheath. And of course, I could throw this in the sheath for something else. I could throw this in the Rocktol sheath and it would carry it just fine. No major issues there. And if I do carry this again, I probably will throw it in the Rocktol sheath, but I hate not having something that came with it. This is probably the first time in a long time I've had a Gerber anything that I actually like. Like, I do actually like this thing. I've seen a lot of guys complain about them. They're not happy overall with the Suspension NXT, all that. And that may be because this will not hold a candle to, say, my Leatherman Curl. For an example, the guys that are used to carrying Leathermans and nicer tools and the like, this won't hold up against that. Now, the price point, there is a chasm in price point. Instead of spending $130 on a Leatherman, especially getting into the Arc series or the Wave series, things like that. Even the Curl, I think, is like $85 new. This is $35. All right, this is much more budget oriented, and honestly, if you're on a tight budget, it's hard to beat this in that price range. It really is. The only things holding the suspension back, one, there's no sheath, nothing to carry it in, and two, your bits. These things don't have replaceable bits. You strip this out, you're kind of stuck for it unless you buy another part and replace it. That really sucks. These, I wrenched on them pretty hard, especially this one and this one. We had them slip, but they didn't have you feel the dreaded ping where it slips out. but they didn't get stripped. The Rocktol did nothing. The Flissa had a little bit of paint knocked off. Kind of the same deal here. I was running out of stuff to fix it work, so I didn't get to flog it as hard as I flogged these. But I already know enough to know that this is definitely overall a slightly better tool. The blade steel I'm not sure about, but for me personally, the blade on a multi-tool is kind of tertiary. If I only have my multi-tool on me, I have got a blade there, but normally I am carrying a knife to go along with it. So it's not a big deal to me. We are going to practice some hand sharpening on the blade here just to see what happens a bit later on down the road. But yeah, I mean, this is your one-to-one-to-one apples-to-apples comparison. You know, if you're not averse to clones and you don't care that much, the Flissa is probably the way to go. Just overall total package. The differences in quality between this and this are negligible. This just feels a little bit nicer overall. But at the end of the day, this is kind of what makes and breaks it. You know, if this was significantly like orders of magnitude better than these two, I would go with this. But they are so close, it's not funny. The Rocktol, still a good deal if you can catch it on sale for like $15, but this was on sale for like 20. It's hard to argue with the price. You know, like 10, $15 cheaper, and you're getting pretty much the exact same thing, but with the ability to carry it outside of your pocket comfortably. So, yeah, these are all solid multi-tools. The only downer is these are clones of this. These are clones of this. It sucks. I don't like having clones on the channel, but I was already in too far to back out once the Rocktol happened, and y'all said y'all wanted to see the Flissa. So, yeah, I can't think of a lot to add about it. You know, like, just overall, they're all solid. This one just feels a little bit better than these, but yeah, sheath. So, all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We've got our live streams, regular videos. There's plenty of activities. Comments. I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about these things, and let me know what you think about the situation with clones in the multi-tool world, because that is unfortunate. But all that being said, y'all have a nice day.